We're live. We're live. My name is Sonny Maker I. In this video, I'm going to be talking. I might even play a game. You never know. Also, whenever I look to this side, I'm looking at my recording because I have two monitors now. Maybe I should just move it over here. It's not the same. Whatever. Mic sounds different because I changed it. Room looks different because I changed it. Lights in the back because it looks cool. And I'm mad, actually. I'm mad tonight, this evening. I'm mad because I recorded an entire video. An entire hour-long video. And my mic was too quiet. My mic was too quiet in the video. And it was Anna's Dream Barbecue. I was so hyped to play that game. Even in the video, I was hyped. And you know what happened? The mic was too quiet and I played the whole game. First of all, my camera was in the middle of it was like covering the game, which I hate doing, or I hate watching shit that looks like that. But you know, the elephant in the room is that the mic sound was too quiet. And that's a shame because I think I ripped off some of my best one-liners in that video. But, you know, what's happened has happened. It's in the past now, so gotta look forward to the future. And that game I had a fun time playing it, but I don't know if I want to play it again. Because, you know, I already played it. But also, I don't know if I want to play it for this channel. The game's on an hour long, but, like, I don't know. I feel like something like that I would want to record and, you know, have access to watch back. Because in general, I just like watching my own videos. I'm really doing it for myself right now, which I just started like 2 months ago or whatever. But still, it's like this kind of stuff. It's really more for preservation of anything. Because I truly think that you really change every single day. Who I am today is not who I was yesterday. It's not who I'm going to be tomorrow. Like, the self dies every time you go to sleep and you wake up. Because, like, even what you see in your dreams changes you. And there's no fun that you can get from hyper-analyzing every little detail. And that's basically what I'm doing by recording myself. Like, because I want to watch back and I want to see my reaction again. But it doesn't make sense to do that. Because I also have to keep in mind how loud or quiet I'm being. I don't know how thin these walls are. I'm not going to be yelling. But I don't know how quiet these walls are or how quiet I'm being with these walls in mind. Anyways, I'm recording myself because I want to watch it back later. And I like seeing what I have to say in videos because my memory is really bad. And I feel like if I don't preserve this point in my life, well, you know, my memory is getting worse and worse. So if I don't have proof of what happened in anything really, then it's really unreliable. Because I also have a hard time trusting other people. I don't trust anybody with anything 100%. I don't think I ever have. I have trust issues, not good, whatever. So the point is, I'm not going to record that again. I just decided right now. Or at least I don't want to. I probably will, because I don't have any other games to play. But for right now, that video is going to get uploaded eventually, even though it sucks. Like, it genuinely is not fun to watch because you could see me talking and you cannot hear. It's so irritating. You can't hear a single word of what I'm saying in that video. When I tell you, when I stopped recording, I was so mad. I think that's probably the most mad I've been for like 2 seconds. Like, I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. And then after those 2 seconds where I was really pissed off, I was like, okay, well, it's done. It's already done. Can't go back in time. So, you know, that's what it is. It just stuff like that happens a lot. So it doesn't really, it makes me mad in the moment because that's a normal feeling to feel, especially when something like that happens. You just wasted, I literally wasted an hour of my whole entire life. That's one way to think of it. But how I think of it is I just played the shit for an hour and my recording didn't get audio. Objectively, that's what happened. My emotions come after the fact. Once I acknowledge the objective fact, then I can grapple with my feelings. Obviously, this is a coping mechanism for trauma. But it helps. You should try it. Definitely try it. This is my Death Note hoodie, by the way, in case you're wondering, Mr. Ryuk. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to do tonight because I can't sleep. It's like 9:45 on the dot. Not 10, but it's about to be 10 and I'm bored. And I can't sleep. I have a really hard time sleeping. I heard it was because of the Monster Energies that I drink. But I haven't had a Monster in I think it's been 3 days. I keep the cans though. Excuse me. I keep the cans. It's for something special. But I don't know. I'm just sitting in my room now. At nighttime, I was gonna draw. And the reason I'm trying to get more into drawing right now is because, like I said before, my memory is starting to get extremely bad. I think I have early onset Alzheimer's or dementia, whatever it is. Like my brain is decaying at a rapid pace. So I want to get this story that I've had in my head for a while onto, I want to make it real. Because the only way it exists is if it's real and you can see it and you can feel it and you can experience it with at least 2 of your 5 senses. So I want to make it real. And the story that I'm thinking of is, well, it's like an overarching kind of story, but the beginning that I want to start with is, I don't know what I'm going to call it, because the main character, I guess I'm going through the whole my OC lore. Maybe I can go through it while I'm drawing. It'll make me draw better. I suck ass. I suck at drawing. And this video is not going to be fun to watch. So maybe I'll put up some Minecraft footage or something in the back. But this video, or this story that I want to tell, it follows main character Jasper Thorne and somebody else, Olivia, no last name. The reason she doesn't have a last name is because in this universe that I've invented, that I've made up, they do have last names, like a typical last name, but it's seen as, in the time that the story takes place, people are starting to discard their last names because they feel shame or they no longer want to associate with their family. Whatever the reason is, it's socially acceptable and is becoming commonplace to completely remove your last name. And Olivia has done that because of trauma that she experienced. So it's Jasper Thorne. Jasper still has his last name because he's sentimental. He's a sentimental guy. He's like me in a little way. I can't help but project, especially onto someone like Jasper, because I want to make Jasper I like a main character that is eccentric, but you can relate to them in a little bit. Like, you can imagine yourself, like if you were put in his situation, which I'm going to explain in a second, you could imagine yourself acting in that way. Or at least I could imagine myself acting in that way. Maybe that's why I'm saying it's projection, but Jasper and Olivia, they get in hot water or whatever. I still am not totally sure how that's going to happen, but it ends with both of them dying. Obviously, they don't actually die, because if they die, there's no story. But they die, and they get put between the place between life and death. It's not limbo, because limbo doesn't exist, but it's more of it's not purgatory either. There's no way to get out of it once you're in. And of course, they don't know that. They don't know where they are, but Jasper gets there just fine, but now he can't see color anymore, and some other stuff that I'm not sure, but it has to be like, you know, engaging, grappling, whatever. And Olivia is chopped up into pieces and scattered across, the land. And Jasper and Olivia, they have to go find all of her body parts and then escape out of wherever they are. And the person that they're trapped there with is unnamed. Not because they don't have a name, but I genuinely have no clue what to name them. This is my self-insert character, so obviously I can't make it myself, but actually I have a bunch of self-insert characters, so I don't know if this character will be my self-insert. Probably not, actually, because I have another character. I have another character which is way more shameful than, this original one that I was just talking about. Haiku. I guess I'll get into the Jasper Thorn is the main character. Olivia is also the main character. So there's two main characters. Jasper and Olivia. Jasper Thorn. And Olivia, no last name. Supporting cast is not going to be seen at all. So it doesn't make sense for me to talk about them, but I'll still talk. It's Haiku, who is my self-insert character. Cold and distant, but was like getting out of her shell, meeting Jasper. But now, since Jasper's dead, she has completely gone back in and is like fortified the bunker inside of her mind. So there's no way out. Like she is trapped in the grief of losing Jasper Thorn. And these are all unorganized thoughts in my head. Like I've never even spoken these words outwardly before. I don't think I've ever said haiku in relation to a character in my whole life until right now. But this is a story that I've had in my head for a very long time, since I was like 13 or 14 or something. Very long time. My first drawings that I've ever drawn were based off of these characters. Not these characters, but based off of this story. Definitely not these characters. I'm not going to say, any more than that, because eventually I want this to be like a big overarching thing. Kind of like my BlazBlue, if you know what that is. If you don't know what BlazBlue is, I don't know why I just said it like I'm not going to tell you, but now you have to sit and learn about BlazBlue for just a moment, for like 5 seconds. It's basically like it's the director, I forget his name, doesn't matter. His story that he had been thinking of for decades probably, and then he got to bring it to life. Like he got the music done for like concept art, I believe. He drew it or something like that, I don't know, but he was involved in every portion of the creation of this property, and I think that's really cool. And I want to be that. I can't draw though. I can barely make music. I can play guitar below noob level. Like I am worse than a novice. I'm like probably worse than beginner, honestly. But I want to make music for it, because this story is ultimately like an expression of myself in every way. Like every single main point in this story is reflected in how I view my own life. And I think that's really important. That's really important for me to create and to make tangible, because it shows who I am, right? But I don't have the skills or anything, so maybe I'd have to outsource somehow. But I want to at least I'm not picking my nose. It's the piercing. I'm itching my nose with the piercing in it, so I cannot pick my nose. I'm saying that because you might think I'm dirty or gross. You're like subconsciously picking my nose. I'm not. Okay. And if it makes you feel any better, I'm wiping on my desk pad, and my desk pad is already dirty. I'm joking. Anyways. Where was I? Haiku. And Haiku has 2 friends ever. Well, 3, and then Jasper died. So, it's Marissa. I don't know if she has a last name. Maybe. And then Marissa plays a band. She is going to play in a band. When she met Haiku through somebody else. Haiku's second friend, who I forgot the name of, which is really bad because I don't have any of this shit written down. This is actually you. I am now recording right now, and you could be watching the very first documentation of this story ever. So, a round of applause for you. You're witnessing history, maybe. I don't know. I'm messing with my watch again. That's what that is. That's what that sound is. I need to stop doing that. Yeah, she plays in a band in the future. When they meet, she's slow kind of, but like not super slow. Like she's slow to everybody else, but she knows what's going on. But she barely talks. She only talks when it's like necessary to. And she doesn't say much. But she always knows what's going on. She doesn't have like a set thought process. Like you can't pin her down however hard you try. But she's very down to earth, kind of like Jasper, but like, in a different way. Maybe that's what Haiku is drawn to in people, but not with this next person who I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. I was trying to remember, but I think it started with a K. I want to say it was Kira or Kiara or something, but she's a bitch. Kiara Lamont. I guess that's what her name is. Kiara Lamont. Real bitch. You don't want to talk to this person, and if you do, now you're stuck with her forever. She thinks that everybody's her best friend, and if you act otherwise, then now you're on her shit list for life. And Haiku actually did on her first meeting, but they were brought together by Marissa, and now they're BFFs for life. Can you tell that I put more thought into Haiku than any of her other friends? And I keep saying and, but that's it. Haiku, Marissa, and Kiara Lamont. Haiku doesn't have a last name. Marissa doesn't have a last name. Marissa never had a last name, though. That's the difference. Haiku doesn't have a last name because her mother died, and her father is ashamed of the situation. I'm not going to give any more detail because I don't want to. Jasper has a friend. His name is Richard Bachelor, and he's a lot like my good friend Eddie. And Eddie, if you heard that, or if you're watching this somehow, if this video reaches you, you might be excited to hear that, but I promise you it's in the worst ways. And you might be the only person that knows what I mean, but like you in the worst ways, but he's like me in the best ways too. He's like my friend Eddie. He's outgoing, definitely doesn't keep to himself at all, unlike Jasper. Nobody likes him though. This is not like Eddie. I think people like Eddie. I don't know. He doesn't exist. But it seems like nobody in his class likes him, but they're all like, they don't have any strong opinions. He's just, he's a character. He exists just like everybody else. Just like how Haiku and Jasper also exist. So too does Richard Bachelor. And he is bachelor. He is a bachelor. He does not have any relationships. None of them do. And for some reason, I didn't think of their orientations. Except for Jasper and Olivia, because that's important to their story. Jasper and Olivia's, I guess Jasper Thorne, and Olivia's sexual orientation is very important for the story. I guess not very important, but it's like, something I thought about. Am I gonna say what it is? No. No. Why'd I bring it up? Because it was on my mind. Okay. And I keep looking down because I'm looking at this drawing that I don't really like. It looks like ass. I don't even know if I want to show it. Here it is. I've been really... You see it? No, you cannot. It looks kind of creepy though, doesn't it? I've been really into gorillas as of recent. And my favorite character is Tootie, the frontman singer. But I don't like when Murdoch is mean to Tootie. It makes me sad. Like, why is he such an asshole? I know why he's an asshole, And he's definitely supposed to be that way, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Murdoch is probably the most interesting character in the Gorillas. I guess it's just Gorillas, but I don't know. I don't like when he's mean to Tootie, because Tootie he didn't do anything to deserve that. It's so awful. It feels like everybody's against him, but I don't know. I need to stop doing that, because this microphone is very sensitive. I was inspired by the Gorillaz art style. Actually, that's why I started drawing again. Was because I saw the Gorillaz and I'm listening to the music. I'm like, man, this stuff is goated. I want to be just like Gorillaz when I grow up. But I can't be like Gorillaz because Gorillaz is one of a kind. I don't think anybody could be like Gorillaz. And if you're trying, you should just give up, because it's not gonna happen. Just like how you'll never be like me. I'll never be like you. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's an individual in their own individual way. So I guess inspired by Gorillaz, but just in the art style. Maybe some of the characters will, rub off, but for now, that was my OC lore. A little bit, not all of them, of course. This story is very large, very massive, but for this story, I think I want to call it. I don't want to call it Jasper and the Malice Doll, because Malice Doll is there was a whole part of it that I just skipped because it seems like kind of a lot to explain, but I mean, I have nothing but time here. I'm just waiting until I get tired and go to sleep. So if this feels like scattered, then it's because this is how my brain is. I can't help it. Anyways, Jasper Thorne was born into a family. He was a single child, only one parent, his mother, and his mother has the last name Thorne. I don't remember the name. I don't think I ever gave her a name, actually, but he lived his life trying to appease his mother, because his mother is a fashion designer who is her sole purpose in life since the moment that she decided she wanted to be a fashion designer was to create a real life doll. And she decided that she was going to give birth to one as soon as she feasibly could after learning that she was a fashion designer. So she was she was a teenage mother. I won't get into any more detail, but she tried very hard, and she did have a child who was a boy, not a girl. And she hated that. So she would dress up Jasper and make him look all pretty. His name is Jasper. I was thinking about, should I make it so that Jasper's name is not Jasper? Should I make it something else? Because like his mother was planning on having a girl, so you would think that, having a boy name would be like, why would she name her girl a boy name? Like, she would decide that her daughter would have a boy name, but no. I don't think Jasper's a male name necessarily. And even if it is, no, it's not. I just decided right now. No, it's not. Not a male name. Jasper Thorne. That's his name. But because his mother wanted a girl, she dresses him up like a doll, much to his chagrin. He hates it. And, there's all the abusive parent stuff that comes with everything. Up and down, all around, abusive. And he meets Olivia. The story takes place during senior year of high school. So they're not quite adults yet. And this is like, if I could make it, an adult story, then I would. But the way that this story plays out, I feel like it doesn't work in a college setting. This is not the constant throughout this entire overarching storyline. There will be adults eventually, but for now, Jasper has to be a kid. So does Olivia. They meet in junior year. Well, I should say sophomore. They meet in sophomore year, and they bond over their trauma, because Olivia also, comes from an abusive family. She had both parents, but mother wasn't around, and the father was always at work. Mother not saying what she did, but the father was like an office worker, businessman kind of thing, and he was intentionally neglectful because he never wanted a big family. So he was always hiding himself away from his family at work. So as a result of that, they make a lot of money. But the downside is that their kids spend a lot of time at home. And she has a brother. That's it. that's as far as I'll go, because it gets dark. But you could probably guess where it goes. But she doesn't get along with him very well, and comes to a head when she is in middle school, 8th grade, end of middle school. She gets a choice. She has a choice because her parents are divorcing. She can choose to either go with one of her parents, who she doesn't know very well at all, or she could live at this school. And she chooses to live at the school to escape her family. But the trauma stays with her. Right? She loses her last name, and her trauma stays with her forever. Like, because that's not something you just lose. And that's a sticking point in this story, is that trauma is not something that you can really get over, because I have trauma that I can never get over. And there's people that I see things in that I don't like at all. That's why I don't talk to people as much as I'd want to, because they might get one of these traits that I really hate. But, Olivia sees everybody. She sees that in everybody. So she doesn't talk to anybody, but she's drawn to Jasper Thorne in a way that she never knew how to properly convey verbally, other than just walking up and talking. And they make good friends in freshman year. So they're good friends all the way up until the end of sophomore year. Olivia says something that throws him off, and they fall out of touch almost immediately, in a way that's surprising to Olivia, but she would never do anything about it. And Jasper is in his own little world, so he doesn't care. Well, he cares, but it's not really something that he addresses in his mind, because he's used to just looking past people, like people come and go kind of thing. That's kind of how he feels about it. But goes through high school as normal. He meets Haiku. Haiku's not a main character, not yet, but he meets Haiku middle of junior year, and they get to talking or whatever. They meet in like a group project kind of thing in their class. They get assigned together, and Haiku does not like making friends, but they make good friends anyways, and they get along very well. And I want to say Haiku develops feelings, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe, but she's drawn to Jasper in some way. I'm looking right at the camera, by the way. I'm like shifting my focus around, because usually I look at the screen. And this is not the first time I've said this, but I feel like I'm talking to you this way. And I've never told anybody this concept of a story, I guess. So it feels like I should be talking to someone. So, talking to you. And I hope you're listening, because there will be a test. Jasper sees Olivia with somebody else, like a partner. She's now in a relationship. Oh, so he thinks. But that doesn't... I don't think I said this, but like Jasper had developed somewhat of a crush, but like not in a like lovers kind of way. Like not in any way that like if they were in a relationship they would be happy. More like he romanticized the idea of being with Olivia, because unfortunately he saw, his mother in Olivia. So he is surprised, based on what Olivia said, that she would get in a relationship with somebody at all, especially somebody taller than she is. They're the same height. Jasper and Olivia, they're the same height. And the person that Olivia is with is taller. So he's shocked, but, it's just notable. Then, eventually, I think I said this was junior year into senior year. This is the beginning of senior year now. He and Olivia start talking again, just one time. They have one conversation. But that, whatever Jasper says, Olivia is not feeling it at all. So that basically ends with Olivia hates Jasper now, or so he thinks. But like, people come and go, so he thinks. But like, it's different this time. Jasper actually had a connection. Like they had bonded over what she had said, and even though they had fallen out of touch since middle school or whenever that was, now it's like officially, now that Olive Branches is not there anymore, they're actually not friends anymore, which is new. But, Haiku's still there. And Haiku introduces him to all her friends, all 2 of them. And they don't get along. Kira doesn't get along with Kiara, whatever I said. Bitch doesn't get along with Jasper that much. But Marissa, they're a lot alike. And, it's fun. But halfway through senior year, something happens. And Jasper follows Olivia somewhere. But Olivia is going to die. Olivia's going to die. Jasper doesn't know this, but he's going to die too. Olivia doesn't know she's going to die, but she has a feeling. And, once you get that feeling, you don't really shake it. And it's not a new feeling. That impending dread is never new. It was never new to Olivia, but now it's real again. So Olivia dies, and Jasper watches Olivia die. And then he dies too. I'm not getting into any detail because I think this is going on YouTube, maybe. But, there's not a lot of stuff you can get away with saying on YouTube. I don't know how much of this I can even imply, but, here we go. Anyways, they wake up in the dimension. I don't know what it's called. I didn't call it limbo or purgatory, but they're trapped in this space, and that's where the story begins. They're trying to get out. All that was just preamble. You don't really need to know that going into. I was thinking about making it a game, but I'm no game designer. I'm no artist. I'm no anything really. I'm Simon McKay. So but maybe because I have a lot of free time this semester, maybe I'll actually develop some of these hobbies. And this is the last time, by the way. This is the last time I'm gonna have any free time, because going into next semester, I'm gonna have to take all of my classes, like labs and stuff, and it's gonna be a pain. Damn, it's gonna be a pain. But and I'm taking 2 classes this semester too, so it's really gonna be rough going from 2 classes this semester to a full schedule next semester. And if I don't want to get my shit pushed back, I'm going to have to take classes in the summer again, more classes too. So lots of fun to be had in my life, in the life of Sonny May Cry. But I love it. I love the stress, even though I'm taking this break because I didn't want stress. I'm just gonna. This is not anything. I think this semester is going to be me trying to develop myself and find myself. And finding myself is realizing the story that I began telling you just now. It's not the full thing, but and there's a lot of details that I cut out that I really probably could have said. But some of this stuff is to me, some of this stuff is embarrassing to say out loud, because if it's not a real story, then you don't really have any business knowing some of this stuff. And you might wonder where I would think about stuff like that, right? Some of Olivia's backstory is it's supposed to be dark and stuff, because it sets up the themes of overcoming trauma or whatever. But especially during the end of the story, it's man, how do you even think of some of this stuff? And why why am I so cruel? I think about that sometimes. How could I be so cruel? But the reason I'm not spoiling anything is because I want to make this into a game. I want to be able to play this. I want every part of my mind to be interactive in some way. If it's a video you could watch, or a game you could play, or art that you can look at and critique, like you would any other piece of art. Music you can listen to, all of it. I want to be everything. But I suck, so I have to get better. This story does mean a whole lot to me, even if it's not the greater story of. I think I called it Mantra in my head, but I'm not sure. It's called Mantra because I have a reason for it. You don't get to know though, haha. But this story right now is not called Mantra. It's set in the same universe. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I think I just thought of this right now. I think I'm gonna call it The Malice Doll, because I was going to say this before. This is what I forgot to say. Jasper feels as if he is all of the pain and suffering that his mother had went to, all of the malice that she feels for the world that they live in. molded into human form and then pushed out onto everybody else, like a doll of Malice. That's why it's Malice doll. And it sounds corny. It sounds corny saying it out loud, but I think it fits him. I think it fits him. And of course, it does connect to what happens, you know, in the game, in the story that I'm telling. So I like the parallels too that you can make. I really wish I could go into more detail, but I don't want to spoil it. Maybe I'll start writing. I'll start writing some of this stuff down or typing some of this stuff down. That's one way to remember. Now that I'm saying it out loud too, it feels kind of cathartic. It feels like I want to keep talking. I want to keep talking more about it, but I don't want to spoil anything. But at the same time, like this may never be real. Of course I want it to, but this may never be real. So maybe I will start writing based on what I said in this video. Yeah, I'm really hyped on this story, the Malice doll. I don't know. It's not like a horror game. I feel like that's kind of a scary name. It's not meant to be a horror game. It's meant to be like I don't know. It's not meant to be super deep. More like, you know, you just watch what happens to these guys, to these people. And you get interested by it, and you keep reading, you keep watching, you keep playing or whatever, and it's cool. It's not meant to have some sort of purpose, because I don't like I like stuff having a purpose, of course. It's fun to digest, but not everything needs to have a purpose. Some stuff exists just to exist, and the idea of that feels wrong. Like, it feels like something existing just to exist with no purpose at all feels... It's difficult for me to handle, because some stuff you really need to take a closer look at to fully understand. You know, with stuff that you don't get the first try, like calculus, for example. Like, you don't know that shit just by looking at it. You have to look further, and once you start learning, it's fun to understand it and completely grasp it, so that then you can go tell other people. But some stuff you really don't need a backstory for. And you could really say that about this dumbass story that I just told, but like, first of all, it's not over. Second of all, you know, I think more people have to be accepting of the fact that some stuff really does come and go, and what it leaves with you, I think, is the most important thing. More than it actually existing, it's the lasting impact that you feel and the people around you feel. And I want to tackle that more through this story, because Jasper Thorne doesn't... Once he dies, it's like he just left. Nothing really changes when Jasper dies. Or really Olivia. More so Olivia, because how she died was tragic and stuff. Like, she got cut up and hidden around, like, different pieces of her body. That's scary. That's scary shit. But, like, everybody just goes back to normal eventually after a couple of months. Jasper is presumed dead, but he just went missing. On the books, he went missing, but, like, everybody knows. Like, they're probably waiting to find his head somewhere. But nobody cares, it feels. And this messes with Haiku's head a lot, because that was who she thought was her best friend, Jasper Thorne. Not to mention, this girl literally got chopped up into bits and spread all over the city, the town, whatever. So it's like, how could everybody be so calm in a moment like this? And she goes to the complete wrong person to answer this question. She goes to her good friend, Kira Lamont. And at this point, you know, I wanted to have it so that Haiku and Kira are the same family. Like, Haiku joins the Lamont estate, whatever, through her father, who she is still very much related to. Like, her father gets scouted to join the family, and now it's Haiku Lamont. But after she asks Kira for help, you know, to vent or whatever, Kira just lays it all out exactly how she feels about Jasper. Like, nobody cares about Jasper Thorne. He's some random nobody. And you see how fast everybody moved on, because his life really amounted to nothing. And I think that's what you should be sad about. More than the fact that he's missing, is the fact that nobody cares. And, you know, obviously that's her best friend, so Haiku fucks up, you know. Kiara a little bit. Kiara verbally. There's no assault or anything. Haiku's not really an expressive talker though. She talks kind of monotone. Like in heated moments, she'll raise her voice, but it's not. It doesn't ever get like higher or lower. But she is very good at expressing herself, and she expresses herself all over Kiara Lamont, and storms off or whatever back to her room. That was gonna be another thing. Actually, at first, though, this is a bit after I thought of the story of Jasper, Thorn, and Olivia, but it was gonna be this is when I had a really bad day. I was thinking of a story of this person. It was gonna be me, but I needed a character because it would just be the character killing themselves over and over and over. But they you have to find a different way to do it every time. I'm thinking of this Newgrounds game, where you play as this girl and you have to kill yourself. I think you only have three options though. You know what? I think it was Nene, the Friday Night Funkin' character. I'm joking. Nene from Friday Night Funkin' killed herself because she got herpes, I remember. But obviously the message of this game is don't kill yourself. You should go look for help. And eventually Haiku does. She goes to the right person this time. She goes to Richard Dick Bachelor. And he completely understands that was his best friend too, in his mind. So he's like, he looks for Jasper every night. He goes on walks to clear his mind, and he goes and looks for Jasper or pieces of Jasper, and he never finds anything, obviously, because he's not missing, he's dead, really. So he's not gonna find anything, but he still looks because he really cares about Jasper. And that's enough for Haiku to not kill herself, although in the game you can, the game that I'm thinking of. I thought of this because one day I was having a really bad day, and whenever I'm in a bad mood, I always think about hurting myself. And I think Haiku would do that too. For some reason. Well, not for some reason, just because Haiku is me. My self-insert character. So, it's like Haiku wants to kill herself over and over and over, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't actually want to kill herself. She wants to be alive, but she wants Jasper to be alive too. She wants to be alive with Jasper. But not only can it never happen, but it feels like nobody else cares that it'll never happen, because nobody else likes Jasper that much enough to go look for him or whatever. They all just assume he's dead, except for this one person. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just one person to change to change your mind on something. I don't know what else to talk about. That's it, really. That's the story. I guess the beginning of the story of the Malice doll. Jasper Thorn is the Malice doll. Like, he is the nickname Malice given from Olivia. Olivia was never the Malice doll. It's Jasper Thorn the Malice doll is what I was thinking of calling it, but it's just Malice doll is better. I think Malice doll is just a better name. Yeah. If you want to hate on me and say that the story sucks or whatever, first of all, that's rude. Second of all, it doesn't exist. This is the first time I'm actually verbalizing this, because even if Mantra as a whole doesn't get, made, which at this point, I can't really, if it does, that'd be a miracle, because it's such a long story. But I really want, at the very least, the Malice doll to exist in some form, because this is really the story that I want to tell. Well, the story I want to tell is Mantra, but the story that I think I should tell first is the Malice doll. But I have to learn to draw, and I have to learn to make music, and I guess develop a game. If I were to make the game, it would be in RPG Maker because I love the pixel art aesthetic, and I love RPG Maker. That RPG Maker menu, it's like that's my my comfort zone. It's in that menu. Every game has magic, but they never use it for some reason, even though it'd be really helpful. Anyways, I guess that's it. That was the more like the prologue and a bit of extra stuff from the Malice doll. I think most of that is more interesting than what happens in the actual game, which I am not what happens in the actual story, which I'm not privy to that much. This story is supposed to be a preamble to get into the bigger story of Mantra. In my mind it is, but like I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to make it something like that anymore, because I'm so attached to Jasper Thorn and Olivia and Haiku. So maybe I'll end it at just the Malice doll, but if it pops off, maybe, I don't know. I guess that's it. I'm Sonny May Cry. Sonny May Cry. I feel like I say it fast every time, but you can see how it's spelled, so it's not like it's a surprise who I'm supposed to be. This was a little bit of OC lore for the Malice doll, and the last thing I want to say, and I've been saying it a bunch, but this semester I'm gonna really try to have something more concrete out. At the very least, I want to have what I said just now introduced in a tangible way for like people to go read it or whatever, because I think it's really important to me, this story of Jasper Thorn and Olivia. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Find someone to take care of. Take care of each other. Yeah. I have to pee. Oh shit. I have to pee. The mic just peaked. I'm sorry I did that in your ear. I don't know why I'm still talking. That's it. Take it easy. See you.